I think Willie Green has done a fantastic job with the Pelicans, and
undoubtedly,
I had this thought yesterday in that getting the right coach matters significantly. You look at the two examples this season, Ime Udoka and Willie Green. Ime Udoka now changing around the Celtics completely, although they did have the personnel. He's the one that now made the game. He simplified the game for them, especially on defense with their switching tactics and the rotations. And then Willie Green with the Pelicans, to have three rookies play significant playoff minutes, and although the Suns didn't have Devin Booker in that second half, to still beat the Suns and get big-time performances. I mean, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, I think they've all been fantastic. He led the Pelicans to the playoffs after a 1-12 start. That's the first team to do that since the 96-97 Suns.
Can't make it up.
So I've been super impressed by Willie Green, but how impressed have you been? I'll start with you, Lo.
I've been impressed all around. Like you said, you highlighted a couple of players' names. Also, a huge shout out to Jackson Hayes. He came out there, gave really, really good minutes in that game too, and was versatile. Like, he didn't look stiff. He looked well-rounded, quality defender. And Willie Green has really put a lot of confidence in a lot of those young players to go out there and perform. And really their first ever playoff appearance. And it's against a team that, quite frankly, they are underdogs. Like, if they come out and win a game, it's something that not too many people are expecting. So for them to go out there and play that confidently is great. Also, like the looks that he's getting Brandon Ingram. Ingram is looking nice. Like, as a fellow Laker fan, he looking nice, dog. He looking real nice. And then also, Herb Jones and some of the other unsung heroes on that team, man. It's just look great that they're going out there, stepping up, knocking down the shots, playing well, playing aggressive, and sticking to what the game plan is from Willie Green and communicating all throughout. Defensively, that team looks much better than I think a lot of people anticipated. Again, and I have to give a huge shout out. Personally, my favorite part of game 2 was that section that Jackson Hayes played. It was a subsection of the game where he was out there moving laterally, looked well, rebounding, running in transition, and just having another body out there. He was out there. I mean, CP3 getting a little bit older, but he was out there and able to defend in space as well. And you can't really find that too often in a lot of big men, but all the young players are playing really great.
Yeah, and in game 2, in that third quarter, which you're talking about specifically with Jackson Hayes in transition, that was kind of the turn of the game, getting those transition baskets. And ever since the first half of the Suns and Pelicans game in game 1, the Pelicans, I think, have been outplaying Phoenix for, the last 6 quarters. They've been outplaying them. People overlook this, but Willie Green, 10 seed, beats Greg Popovich in the play-in, beats Ty Lue in the play-in, 2 of the greatest coaches in the NBA. Now goes up against Monty Williams and now steals a game versus Phoenix. And like I mentioned, the 3 big rookies playing big-time playoff minutes. Herb Jones, I've been a huge fan of him for a very long time. He has a great story. Jose Alvarado, I did not expect this coming out of Georgia Tech.
He won DPOY in college.
Yeah, I know he was good in college, but just the size, when I watched him, I was like, I don't know how valuable
brings
he can
good energy to the court as well.
It's confidence. When you're a coach like that and you bring in confidence to young players, it just makes them play at a high level. It makes them want to play for you. It makes them give you their 100% effort. So like you said, even when Ty Lue, going back to Ty Lue, when he came in and instilled confidence in Reggie Jackson, and you've seen a wholly new Reggie Jackson, it's just confidence. That type of confidence breeds in players, and it helps them become better. Trusting in 3 rookies late in the stretch, like you said, in games against Greg, games against Ty Lue, against veteran players, that's tough to do against the Suns. That's been the best team in the league all year. Trusting 3 rookies, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Jose Alvarado, and Jackson Hayes, who hasn't been good in his stint in the NBA, and you trust in those 4 guys in crunch time minutes, that's huge. Plus Brandon Ingram, he's been playing better, putting the ball in his hands. CJ McCollum now being a point guard, transitioning him to that, and him being incredible in that position. So I think Willie Green just having that confidence and trusting his players and showing them that he believes in them, I think that's definitely helped, and it's going to help for them in the future because this is still a really young team.
And listen, you mentioned it, to start the season 1-12 and to now have them in a position where they're 1-1 with the best team in the NBA record-wise. That is just remarkable. Are you laughing because you think of the Lakers, you bastard? Is that what you're thinking of?
It's literally hot.
You really don't let me off the hook with anything.
It's hot, bro. The hot chocolate is hot.
All right, whatever you say. Regardless of that fact, out-rebound the Suns, to out-assist the Suns. you would expect that, given the fact that they have already had a time period with Devin Booker being out of the lineup, 8-3 record when Devin Booker hasn't played. You would think that it would still be relatively seamless with, listen, we have one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. We should still be relatively all right handling the 8th seed.
Well, let me ask a question. Devin Booker's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Is Chris Paul still supposed to win this series? I think so.
I firmly believe the Suns
to.
should win this series.
Does he get slander if he lose?
Easily.
Just from us.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the other outside Twitter. I don't care about. I'm talking about
personally
us.
For me. No, because the Pelicans are a good team. Yes, this is
they're a sneaky good team. He's not wrong.
I still think Chris Paul should win.
Let me explain it to you this way: without D Book, the Suns lose their all-star. Right? The Pelicans have 2 all-star level players in CJ and Brandon Ingram. Those are 2 all-star level players. If you have 2 all-stars and you have great role players, Jonas, Larry Nance, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, like, you can win this series. And especially if they put Herb Jones on Chris Paul to neutralize him.
So let me ask you a better question.
It can make it really,
you
really
said
tough.
Chris Paul was an MVP caliber. He was an MVP level.
I never said he was a superstar.
No,
I didn't say that.
No, stop.
That was you.
No, stop. Hold on. No,
listen,
don't say nothing. You said Chris Paul was
I
in the
had him,
MVP.
I had him as the MVP in the mid-season.
Okay, you
Yeah,
did. So
I
you did. Now that you had him, that you project, he was an MVP like player. So he should still win this series because he still has the. If not, he's not going to win. He didn't win
Listen,
DPOY.
he showed at game 1 that he has the capabilities to
he still has
backpack
Jay
offensively.
Crowder. He still has Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson was in the 6th man of the year. He's one of the finalists. Mikal Bridges was one of the finalists for DPOY. So he also has a really good team.
Okay. Who on the Suns
Don't do that.
can you trust consistently to get you a basket, to create
in the
for
fourth? Chris Paul.
That's no. I'm saying outside of Chris Paul, who's the player you can count on to get you a basket?
Nobody.
It's supposed to be Ayton. It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, you're right.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody. I look at the Pelicans and I'm like, CJ, anytime he wants can
You
get
have
it.
Bridges.
Brandon Ingram, anytime he wants can get a bucket.
Yeah.
And
Bridges,
then you
I
have
don't hate.
Jonas. I know DeAndre Ayton really outplayed Jonas in game 1, but in game 2 was much more of an even matchup. And I feel like that switch going to Larry Nance and playing that smaller lineup really helped boost the Pelicans up. I just look at their set of role players. I didn't even mention Devontae Graham. Like their set of role players and having 2 all-star caliber players. If you take that all-star out of Phoenix, I wouldn't be shocked if the Pelicans win. Like I think the Pelicans have a real shot to win this series.
I don't know. I still think you're letting Chris Paul off the hook. I feel like you're letting Chris Paul off the.
To say it's not his fault, he should win this one.
He should still win this.
He should win this one.
He should still win this
8-3 in the regular season without Devin Booker. They're playing a Pelicans team who we have to give their credit. They are red hot.
They matched up bad against the Pelicans all year, though.
That's what
you can't. But even still, we're looking at them. They have the best record
Pelicans
in the NBA.
Are a good team. I'm not gonna say they're not a good team, but the Suns are also.
But the
deep
thing
too.
is that you guys are assuming that I feel like Chris Paul is going to play bad. It's not
no,
that.
No,
it's just that
if he folds.
outside of Chris Paul, I really don't trust anybody else on Phoenix like to generate offense.
Well, I mean,
when called upon,
because Chris Paul is one of the clutchest players in the league still as of today. So 4th quarter, it's close, and he folds. It's his fault. He's the guy. He's gonna even if Devin Booker's there.
We're gonna have to see what Mikal is made of. Truthfully,
but it's just tough.
I feel like we know what he's made of.
But listen, he put up a decent shooting performance game too.
He was cutting. Like, most of his half his
Now we know what he is.
They were rough cuts.
We know what he is.
But now he's going to be given a little bit more opportunity.
I really don't think his role.
Their second best shot creator.
Devin Booker's out. I don't disagree. But with Devin Booker being out, these shots have to go somewhere.
Devin Booker was going cuckoo crazy. They was down, still down like 1.
No, they were winning at halftime.
No, I'm talking about when Devin Booker went out. Like the Pelicans were still kind of controlling the game.
Facts.
So it's like
that 3rd quarter, for sure, the Pelicans started to pull away.
It's unfortunate because
I don't want to hear no excuses for Phoenix.
No, there's none. There's none.
No, it's not about Phoenix. This is about Chris Paul. It's unfortunate because
it's a team game.
No, whether it's been with the Clippers, you have injuries come up. Houston, hamstring, can't play in game 6 or 7 with Houston when they could have beat Golden State realistically. And then last year, he's injured throughout the playoffs.
So what about the 3-1?
And now this year, D-Book gets injured.
So what about the 3-1? When Chris Paul choked?
Okay.
What about against the Thunder?
That was
when he choked.
You are being brutal.
I mean, those are two
He's not getting one pass from me, man. Chris Paul is not getting a pass, bro. And I know that's your fave, but he can't get a pass, bro. He got to win.
You can't.
Oh, wait, wow. He was the MVP this year? That's what he said?
At one
said
point,
at
he
the
did have him.
mid-season, at the midpoint.
Man, he was never the MVP. Come on, let's cut it down. He wasn't the MVP.
15 and 10, led the league in assists, best record
he
in
not.
the NBA.
No, that's not MVP.
I mean, if he's supposed to be that.
They gave Steve Nash an MVP with a little bit
And that
better
was a
points per
mistake.
game.
That was
Yeah,
different.
It was. They gave it to him back-to-back
I think
years.
Stoudemire missed like 40 games though.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, but the Suns still are the best team, or were the best team
I mean,
in the NBA.
listen. I ain't gonna go back and forth on 2006. We're talking about today. So
Fair enough. Yeah.
Chris
I
Paul got to
still
win.
expect the Suns to win the
Okay,
series.
that's what I want to hear.
But would any of you be shocked if the Pelicans win?
I would be.
Yes,
You'd be shocked?
I would be.
I would be too, man. You got an MVP. on the
If they
team,
make
man,
it
you should win.
competitive, no. But if the Pelicans, they're 36 and 46. If they win this series against a 60-win team, I might lose my mind. Like,
But
that'd be
the
insane.
Pelicans not really 36-40. I mean, they're 36-46, but it's not the same team that they had the entire
Yeah,
season.
That's
it's
true.
not.
And
That is very true.
and when they started off 1-for-12 in the beginning of the year, a lot of it had to do with Ingram missed games.
That is true.
CJ
The
McCollum
Suns
wasn't
still
there
have
at that
60
point in time.
wins.
No, I'm not saying they're not, but they're not. The Pelicans are probably the best 36 and 46 win team
That is true.
we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not really that. That's not a representation of who they are.
And you're right. And there's a lot of with Zion, with him coming out, there's a lot of smoke around Zion right now. But with this current roster construction added in with Zion, they could potentially make a Memphis Grizzlies type leap next year. I think that's in the cards for them with this current roster. But I have to ask, I want to throw you guys two scenarios.
I know what he's about to do. I seen it on Twitter.
Would you trade Zion for a treasure
Yes.
chest of assets and say, Brandon Ingram, you're the star.
Okay.
You get the keys, or do you keep Zion and see how far this core gets you? Lo, you said yes quickly, so
Yes.
what's your reasoning behind that?
We were actually talking about this on Twitch. The reason why is because I was like, we're like, as good as Zion is, and he's been really, really good when he is playing. Man, what is that in the background? He's been really, really good when he's playing. The problem with Zion though is that you give up a lot defensively with Zion. And on top of that, in terms of the offensive structure, your whole thing changes. I'm so sorry if y'all can hear that in the background.
I
Yeah,
can
you're
hear
good.
it,
Yeah, we
but
can
I'm
hear
trying.
it.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to just move past it.
Oh, okay.
But it was just
but,
like,
but the reason why I say that is I'll say it again. The reason I'm saying is because defensively, Zion gives up a lot. When you're 6'6" power forward, I think in today's game, the power forward position has a lot to do defensively, anchoring that team because they have to be that's probably the most versatile defensive position in the NBA right now. He's 6'6", he can't defend. And on top of that, he's offensively, it has to flow through him. Ingram has already provided enough evidence that he probably can be that guy. CJ McCollum is also a quality second option. You got a lot of pieces surrounding him. Like, why try to force somebody who doesn't want to be there, who might also be injury prone? Why force him to be there? Especially when you know you can get a bunch of picks for him. Bro, stop it.
I would probably say yeah. It really depends. If the Pelicans and Willie Green, which I think they do, believe Ingram can be the guy. He's like 24, 25. He's a wing. This is a wing league. He has all the tools to be one of the best scorers in the NBA. He has the versatility. If you believe he can be that guy, you have CJ McCollum. Now you have young pieces developing. I agree. Zion would bring back a lot of assets. Maybe not players or a lot of players, good players, but a lot of draft picks. And if you can do it, I would say, yeah. You know, right now they're in the play-in. They just stole a game from the Suns without Zion Williamson. And, you know, you can probably get something back that complements Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. And then, boom, make it work. So I would say, yeah, if he doesn't want to be there, yeah, why not?
This is super hard for me. Outside of the fact that I just like Zion, the player, this Pelicans team has had a good amount of success without Zion Williamson, without 27 points per game on 61% shooting from the field. If Zion was on this team would be box office. Now, do I disagree with what you guys are saying? Not too much. I understand the idea of, one, he doesn't want to be here, and two, he's had struggles staying on the court. But we see what he can be when he is on the court. He's a top 20 basketball player when he is on the court. I think that you can still make adjustments to his height, the 6'6" power forward. What is going on?
No, because when you said he was a top 20 player, Low kind of looked at you.
Listen,
like,
and I'll say that
That's
with
why
my
I laughed.
top 20.
I say that with my chest. 27 points.
That's why I laughed.
In his first full year in the NBA on 61% shooting from the field.
He was tough. He hasn't played.
How many have done that in the NBA? In the history of the game.
He's a bad defender, and he's going to have to adjust his playmaking to the style of play. I don't know if that's top 20. But that's what I'm saying.
We've seen players come into the league and really not hone in on defense, really just try to maximize their abilities on offense. And then as years come on, we start to see them really hone in on defense. Jason Tatum, for an example, where we saw him young, really work on his craft offensively. We spoke very highly of his offensive game, but we was wondering when he would really lock in on defense. We start to see him lock in on defense this year, and now on top of him having a great supporting cast around him, he's now a part of the best defense in the NBA right now and putting on a show against Kevin Durant. I think inevitably he can work to get to that point where he's playing good defense, but it's hard for me because, one, I know what he can be. I've seen what he can be when he's on the court, and I can only imagine what he would be doing if he were to be playing with this Pelicans team right now that is already 1-1 with the top seed in the Western Conference. But I can't ignore the fact that, one, he doesn't want to be there, two, he struggled to stay on the court, and you can get a plethora of assets if you do move on.
The problem with this scenario, both of them, because there are flaws in both, you keep Zion, without a doubt, the ceiling for the team is the highest that it's going to be if you do trade him, I think, because he does have the ability to be a superstar, an MVP, one of the top players in the league, but defensively, he doesn't offer anything. He's slow-footed. He kind of has duck feet. He can jump really high, so he can block shots.
Blocker. Yep.
But with the style the Pelicans currently play, I don't know where he fits in, at least defensively, with this group. And I think the scenario you pick, anybody picks, has to do with how great you think Brandon Ingram can be.
Yep.
If he can be the best player on the championship team. If you believe that, then trading Zion
He's
is
still
the
really
right
young
move.
too.
But if you don't think BI can be the number one option on the championship team, then I think trading Zion would be a mistake. Personally, I say trade him to the Knicks.
Anyways, so wait, you don't think?
Yeah, what are we saying right now?
You don't think, even if you don't believe Brandon Ingram can be the number one, still to trade him because you can maybe potentially get another number one because CJ's kind of a 2 or a 3. Maybe you have Brandon Ingram there.
I think CJ's going to play the one long term with.
No, I mean like
CJ's
option.
a point guard.
No, I mean like he's a number 2 or 3 option on the championship team.
Okay,
That's what I
okay,
meant.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So you think maybe you can go get all these picks, or you can maybe go get a number one for Zion. Zion can go get you a number one possibly.
Yeah.
But who is the number one though? That's the question. Who's the number one?
I mean, what possible teams can they trade Zion to?
That would move their number one.
Yeah, like I mentioned the Knicks, but realistically, they don't have any player
laughable.
there that
We didn't take it serious. we heard you when you said it. We just kept it moving. We kept the podcast moving.
maybe Quinn Grimes and IQ can get it done. I don't know.
You're gonna need a little more than
Five
that.
first round picks.
You're gonna need 5. You're gonna need
I
4
would think
players and
5.
5 first round picks.
Realistically speaking, it's just that the number one option player that they would need probably just isn't there. Like that's the reality. And I don't BI is really great, but he feels like he's more of a probably a slightly better version of Chris Middleton to a Giannis type of a player. Like Middleton is down there, he's making the right decisions. He's very valuable to the team, but in the moments when you really, really need him to be consistently great, I don't know if BI can be that player yet. And I'm not willing to like put my money towards it. But I don't know of the number one option that's like available right now to go trade him. The other problem with Zion is how you have to construct the team, because he's at the power forward position and because he can't shoot, because he's going to need the ball in his hands. You're going to need a 5 who can space out the floor, and because he's also a spotty defender at best at this point, you're also going to need a 5 who can space the floor and defend. So you're already putting yourself at a massive disadvantage in terms of personnel that you can even put around him. So I say, of course, hold on to him now. But if there's an opportunity that somebody is upset and they no longer want to play for the team that they want to play for, bro, throw them the hall. And Zion plus those Lakers picks that you got, bro, you can easily get someone that you're looking for that return.
This thought just came into my head randomly. What about like Indiana?
Who's the guy they're getting back?
No, they're getting picks
Tyrese.
like a top.
Oh, like a number one.
No, Tyrese.
Oh, you were thinking Tyrese. I was thinking maybe Indiana can keep Tyrese. They can trade Miles Turner with Brogdon and then their top pick.
No.
That sounds.
No, but they need. It doesn't sound horrible when you think of the
I think
idea.
Jonas
of
is
pick.
on expiring.
Because
you
listen,
have to remember
a
though,
lot of picks are going to be going.
Zion will have to get paid first.
I mean, yeah.
Contract wise,
Mm-hmm.
Miles is getting 18. Malcolm's getting like 20. So you got to throw unless you throw in Valanciunas, which I think
the team that I saw with the potential. I'm not gonna call them mid players, but like players who are great but not first options is probably Toronto. Like Toronto is probably looking like they can't take no more of Pascal Siakam spin moves, so they're probably gonna just move him.
Yo, that'd be interesting.
And then put Siakam, solid defender.
But isn't that just
whatever else they can get for him?
Two fraudulent ones together, Siakam and Brandon Ingram.
I actually
we don't know if BI is a fraud.
All right, so let me not say that.
I think actually Ingram has a really, really high ceiling.
Okay, so let me not say Brandon Ingram. Pardon me, Brandon Ingram, but Siakam is for sure a fraudulent one.
For sure fraudulent. Yeah, he's a spinning top.
Okay, I like that. All right,
because they had a strong chance to win it last night, man.
Yeah, I know.
And the Beyblade didn't come through.
We ultimately know that Zion really wants to go to New York, though. They should just make it happen.
That's what
I was going to make it harder for them. Because unless y'all get a top 5 pick, it's kind of going to stink.
But y'all going to have to get first-round picks for like 4 or 5 years.
That's fine.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why
it's fine for y'all.
Your Indiana situation does not sound crazy because you give them Brogdon, you give them Miles Turner, you give them 3, 4, maybe 5, who knows, however many picks. We saw Paul George go for like a laundry list of first-round picks. It's not out of the question.
What do you?
No, that's out of the question.
What do you mean, though?
What do you mean? I'm just saying Paul George, a superstar,
a certified
player.
superstar,
Correct.
two-way.
What about Zion
machine?
for the Clippers?
No, we play defense.
But you're telling me if he has a team that's telling him to commit,
we play switchable 5-man defense.
This whole thing that Zion won't play defense.
I didn't say he won't. He just can't.
I'm saying he won't.
Oh,
right now, there's nothing that he's shown me, bro. He's built like me. Me and Zion on the same diet.
He's played one full season.
That's his fault.
So that's the problem. That's actually bad. Part of the problem.
Yes, my point being, he's still young into his career. If we only saw one season out of
career, young and playing only one season and 3 is terrible. That's not good.
But then people would have given up on Joel Embiid, and we wouldn't be talking about an MVP candidate
it was different.
Right now.
He was kind of sitting out.
Well, he was out. He did not play for almost 2 full years.
Yeah, but the second he was sitting out though, it was a little different.
Does that make you feel better about that situation?
No, it doesn't at all.
My point being, that's my
saying.
Point exactly.
What do you say?
It's like if we give up on these players this young, and they end up becoming these
also
MVP.
Had two-way star coming in.
That's true. But again, Zion already showed that he could be one of the more dominant, potentially even the most dominant player in the NBA. For sure. He showed that it took him how long to be this?
2 years.
2 years to be this?
Oh no, but in year 2 he was dominant.
In Zion's first full year,
second year. And then the next year he didn't play.
20 games, and he played over 60 games last season.
And then the next year he didn't play.
Again, if we give up on these young players this early into their career,
but the clock is ticking. You know what I'm saying?
He's going into year 4.
No, I'm just talking about like franchise don't got all day to wait. Like as you say, he's going to year 4. Correct.
For someone of Zion's talent, they got all day.
He's going into year 4. Correct. No, but they're gonna have to pay him soon, and he hasn't shown them a lot. Like he was great year 2, yeah, but nobody wants to pay for somebody who isn't gonna play. Not saying it's his fault.
Not just soon. He got 1 year left. He has 1 year left on his contract. They have to
availability is the best ability. You know what I'm saying?
And then next year when he gives you 27 a game. Yet again.
But then when he doesn't play the year after that, what are you going to say?
The one thing, listen, we have to wait and see on the defense because we haven't seen anything. I can't really defend it. Yeah. But do I firmly believe that if you're asking Zion to commit to defense, will he do it? Yes, he has the capabilities.
Yeah, he does.
He's more than athletic.
Why do you believe that? Me and Zion have the same commitment to a diet plan, bro. We can't I'm not going to believe he about to start.
That New Orleans gumbo is probably fantastic. That has nothing to do with the fact that even still, when he's on the court, he is a bad man.
He is tough.
I can't ignore it.
He is tough. I won't lie to you. But there's another side of the game.
But you can get better.
Yeah,
history has shown us.
He hasn't been on the court to get better.
See, but that's
what we're saying. He hasn't been on the court to get better.
You got to be open-minded. Can we be open-minded?
Okay.
Can we be optimistic that
he's not on my team,
so I could superstar caliber player in Zion Williamson can somehow, some way learn how to be a great defender?